Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's Friday morning, it's overcast, the wind is coming in from the east, and there's a mist of rain that is welcoming us to this new day of the work week, the last day of the work week. I think there is a ship coming in today, the Queen Elizabeth, due to dock at 6 a.m, but I can't see any evidence of it coming down the harbour as yet. So what I'll do is I'll just kick off what I normally do. I'll kick off with my book summary for today, A Journey of OPE, a journey where we take in, we analyse, we mull over other people's experiences to see if there's anything that we can learn, any life hacks that we can incorporate into our daily lives to help us get through this thing called life, these challenges that we face on a daily basis, challenges that, if not met head on, can overwhelm us and cause us grief. But I guess the important lesson for all of us that we've learnt through our lives is that this too shall pass. Nothing that happens to us is that bad or that significant that we can't deal with it and we can't get through it. So what I'd like to do today is go through a book summary entitled Will, W-I-L-L, and it's a biography, an autobiography I think, on the famous actor Will Smith, who has made the news over the past 12 months in ways which he probably never ever dreamt of or considered. But it doesn't shy away from the fact that he is a leader in his field, and he's done a tremendous job over the years to cement his name as being one of the greatest actors in Hollywood's history. So this book here talks about Will Smith's life, his history and the lessons. And it's interesting to note that Will, like many people, was born into a humble family with limited means. His father was an abusive alcoholic, which of course would have shaped the young Will Smith's life. Will Smith commenced his creative life as a DJ in Philadelphia, becoming very famous and very popular amongst the Philadelphians. And from there, once he built a name for himself and a reputation, he was able to leverage that and to move into another creative sphere known as acting in Hollywood. So he made a number of movies, a number of successful movies, and that's basically his background. But the important point I think to understand is that whilst he had a father who was an abusive alcoholic, that in itself could have been used as an excuse for him to do nothing, for him to simply blame his mother, blame his father, blame his culture, his background for all that was happening. But instead, to his credit, to the credit of those around him, he decided to use his circumstances as stepping stones to help him move forward, move up, to grow and develop, and to become the person who we ended up becoming. Because one of the key lessons that he talks about in his book is that we need to be careful of hate, because hate, if not bridled, can consume you. And this is an important lesson, that you are what you focus on. And if you focus on the negative things in your life, if you focus on the things that are not going well, then those things are going to take up most of your thinking time. Those things, as Will Smith says, have the potential of consuming you, consuming all of your time, worrying about the past, worrying about the future, and missing out on the most important time of your life, the eternal now, the right now, the right here and now. Because what we'll learn over time, and we've probably already learned it already, is that we're all going to experience a different past. Even if you're an identical twin, you're going to have a different past. You're going to have different experiences. And even if you have the same experiences as people around you, you're going to interpret it differently. You're going to have a different perspective. You're going to learn different lessons, which leads us to the next point, that we're all going to have a different now. We're all going to have a different present. I am here, you're somewhere else, maybe watching this video at a different place at a different time. But you're going to experience a different now, and we're all going to, of course, experience a different future, a completely different future. Because what happens is that the experiences that we have along the way are going to compound, and they're going to take us to a completely different place to where other people are going to end up. It's just like snakes and ladders. We're just going to keep on moving, keep on growing at different rates. Sometimes getting an elevator up, sometimes taking a snake down, but we're going to end up in a different place to everybody else who has ever lived, who has ever walked on this planet. And that different place is our destiny. And each person has a different destiny. Each person has a different fate. Doesn't matter how hard you work, doesn't matter how organized and how planned you are. Doesn't matter of your dreams that you have. Not all of those things are going to materialize in exactly the same way as which you want them to materialize. Fate will impact us. For some people, fate will help them. Other people, fate will not help them. But it's the ability to bounce back, it's the ability to stay on track that's going to help us become the person that we're meant to be. Which leads us to the first point, the first formal point that comes from Will Smith, where he says that you can't control where you were born and which family you're born into, but you can control, with the help of God, who you become, who you end up being. So that is a very, very powerful point, especially for young people who are growing up, to not blame their past, not worry about their past, not worry about which family or which circumstances they were born into, but to understand that what they do on a daily basis, how they think, the actions they take will compound ever so slowly, but ever so progressively, and take you to a place that you never thought was quite possible. But it is possible through action and activity, and just continuing to show up and to do the things that you love doing. Will Smith, as we said, had lots of ups and downs in his life, but his key strength, and this is something that we should all note and try and emulate, is his ability to bounce back. His bounce ability is really, really powerful. I'll just move down here out of the rain, just a bit windy up here and a bit wet, so and it's a misty sort of rain, so it's not pouring, but it's just ever so slightly annoying. So let me just reassess and realign where I am, and I'll come over here and I'll just get under cover because the rain is starting to pelt down now. And I have seen a ship coming in, so slowly but surely, at the point there at Bennelong, we'll see the Queen Elizabeth come in to dock up. So the thing that helped Will Smith, according to Will Smith, is his ability to bounce back, and the fact that he had a positive attitude and a strong work ethic. And those two things working together were able to help him enormously to get through those formative years, those difficult years as a teenager, growing up in a dysfunctional family. And I dare say that as time goes on, that this whole concept of dysfunctionality in the family is going to be a thing that more and more people are able to relate to, and it will resonate with a lot more readers. But what Will Smith says in his book is that adversity teaches us to become more resilient and to strive for improvement. It doesn't work like that for everybody, but as we said, you've got to decide, you've got to wake up one day and decide that you're going to take control, you're going to be responsible for what you do, you're going to turn up day in, day out, and you're going to be as positive as possible and just use all of the lessons that come your way so that you can grow and develop and become the person you're meant to be. So once again, Will Smith has had a few tastes of early success, but he also had some setbacks as well in his early career, where he got divorced to his first wife, and he also got investigated by the IRS, who hit him up for unpaid taxes, which cost him a lot of money, and as we said, it set him back financially. But he just kept on going. He never gave up on himself or his dreams. I guess the important lesson there, something that we can all use, is that he never gave up on himself. It's easy to give up on yourself, especially if you're having some challenges, financial challenges, business challenges, relationship challenges. What you need to do is to continue to believe in yourself and to keep on turning up, keep on working, keep on doing the things that are going to help you move ahead on a daily basis, and not to give up and not to worry, and to take responsibility. And lo and behold, things got back on track for Will Smith. He married a new woman, he married Jada. He had a new family, a new dream, and new opportunities. And he made the most of that second opportunity at getting things right. But the main lesson, according to Will Smith, is that sooner or later, the only way to overcome adversity the only way to grow and develop, the only way to achieve the most that you can achieve in life is to face your fears. Because facing your fears is the biggest and best thing you can do for your growth and development. And this is where Will Smith says something which I found really, really important and really quite profound. Because Will Smith says that God puts all of the beautiful things in life on the other side of your fears. And you can never go back to where you were before. So life is a ratchet style of event where you keep on ratcheting up, ratcheting forward, and you can never go back to where you were. You can never go back to where you started. And that in itself is a powerful point. And we need to make certain that the decisions that we make on a daily basis, the dreams that we have, need to be the right dreams. They need to be dreams full of purpose. They need to be dreams that are honourable, and there need to be dreams that celebrate our values. And we need to have the right values, I guess, as well. Because at the end of the day, you're going to end up somewhere and you're going to look in the mirror, and the hope is that when you look in the mirror, you recognise the person who is looking back at you, and you're proud of that image that you see in the mirror, and that image is the right image, the image that you want to have become, and an image that you're proud of. And not only that you're proud of, but also your family, your friends, and those who you love are proud of as well. We know we're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have good days and bad days. We're going to go backwards. You know, we're going to take one step forward, 2 steps back. But there are going to be other days where we take 1 step back and 4 steps forward. You just need to keep on going. You just need to keep on turning up, according to Will Smith. And you need to conquer. You need to address, and you need to push through your fears and not allow those fears to define you, not allow those failures to define you, but to use them as stepping stones, as we said before, to use them as life hacks, to use them as patterns to help you solve future problems, because you've learnt your lessons, albeit the hard way, but you've learnt the beautiful lessons in life that are going to help you go forward and to build on your experiences, both positive and negative, remembering that all experiences, all discomforts that we face are things that we can use productively in our futures and in the decisions that we make throughout our lives. Because our life is based on a number of slithers of reality. Because we all can't live a perfect life, we can't be omnipresent, we can't experience everything that is going on. God gives us slithers of reality, gives us slithers of experience that we can use to form our worldview. And based on those slithers and based on how we interpret those slithers will become, as we said, our worldview. And we need to then use that worldview to make sense of the world around us and what's happening around us. But at the same time that we are creating our own slithers of reality, we can also incorporate, we can also inherit other people's slithers of reality in the form of experiences, in the form of books. Because when people sit down to write books, what they do is they are incorporating and indulging in deep thought. They are thinking deeply about their lives, about their experiences, about what life has taught them, and they're capturing it for eternity in the form of a book or in the form of some digitized presentation. And we can use this, we can inherit other people's experiences to enhance and better our lives, to make things more interesting for us, to use them as life hacks, to incorporate them into our inventory of capabilities. So we mustn't discount OPE, we mustn't discount and turn our back on other people's experiences, because it's through these experiences we can learn a tremendous amount about our lives. Anyway, we've got the QE, the Queen Elizabeth, coming in to dock up, a magnificent ship. Sadly, it's not a perfect Sydney summer morning. We're not going to see a sunrise, but hopefully for the tourists who are coming in to seeing Sydney for the first time, the wind can blow away these clouds and they can enjoy the hospitality that this city has to offer. So just getting back to Will Smith and Will Smith's autobiography, he just says that the key point for all of us in our lives is to simply just get over it. If you've got things that are annoying you, if you've got things that are worrying you, if you've got things that are concerning you, creating anxiety for you, you just need to get over it. Don't let it consume you. Don't spend too much time worrying about things that you can't control, is the key message. And in order to do that, you need to not spend too much in your past, and you need to spend less time in your future, because if you're spending too much time in your past, you will tend to be depressed and unhappy. Or if you're spending too much time in the future, then you will tend to be anxious and once again unsatisfied or dissatisfied, because a lot of the fears that we face, a lot of the things that we worry about in terms of our future will never materialize. No, over 80%, 90%, over 95% of the worries that we have, the things that concern us about our future, will never ever come into fruition. But the other thing we also need to understand is, even if they do come into fruition, even if they do happen to become reality, because we humans are teleological in nature, we will most certainly be able to get through whatever problems life poses to us. God will always provide. We will always find an answer. We will always find a solution. As long as we don't give up hope, as long as we see all of these challenges as being an opportunity to grow and develop. Because the only way you can grow and develop is by leaning slightly outside your comfort zone. You can't, spend your life in calm waters. You need to keep on moving, just like this beautiful ship is continuing to move. It's come from the ocean, it's come into a harbour, but it will go back out into an ocean. It will take on the elements, knowing that by taking on those elements, by going through those tough times and those tough seas, that it will get to the next destination. A very valuable and powerful concept, but we need to get over it. We need to step outside our comfort zones, and from time to time we need to make a leap of faith, knowing that by taking that leap of faith, it's not always going to pay off. But once again, as we said, because we're teleological in nature, we can always get over the challenges, the problems that we face, because we're surrounded by people who love us, people who want us to succeed, people who can help us get through the things that don't work out, as long as we don't give up on ourselves and give up on each other. So that's where it is. So thank you very much for joining me this morning on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where we've gone through a book summary on Will Smith and what makes Will Smith tick. And we've also been able to see this magnificent ship, the Queen Elizabeth, come into Sydney Harbour on this misty morning to dock up, because at the end of the day, what I try and do on a daily basis with Jim's 5am Club is I try and use the beauty of this city of Sydney as a backdrop and overlay it with a message of empowerment, a message that can help us learn something new and get through this new day in our lives, where we can live, learn and pass it on. So once again, take care everybody, happy Friday, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different place and with a different message of empowerment, so that we can make the most of the opportunities that we have. Yassas, take care, and bye for now.